Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in for another episode. And this week we're going to be diving deep with the topic, when you live in the moment. And also in this week's show we have a channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for them to bring their communications through to you. And then later on in today's show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the course of this week ahead. So then, today's topic, when you live in the moment. So we're looking at being present and what it takes to be present in your life, regardless of your circumstances or situation, and the benefits of being present. So being present, in order to get to that level of consciousness, we've got to ground our energy. Now, what I'm referring to when I say this is it's a case of what I recommend to a lot of my students is to imagine that you have tree roots growing out of the soles of your feet, going deep within Mother Earth. And if you can imagine that in your mind's eye there, and also allow yourself to feel that energy, that anchoring feeling, that sense of being pulled to the floor there, pulled into the ground, then you'll start to benefit feeling grounding coming into your life. The ultimate way of doing this, in my experience, is getting yourself out in nature. Now, it doesn't matter where you live, as long as there's some green belt area there, you know, a little bit of grass or maybe a woodland or maybe water or something of that description, something that is obviously natural and not man-made, will make this process of imagining the tree roots and grounding and anchoring your energy a lot more easier, because it will just, if you have that willingness, that openness and that intention to be present and be grounded whilst you're out in nature, then you will automatically notice that you feel a lot different. You feel revived, refreshed upon being out in nature. And in fact, it is our true essence. When we do feel that yearning to get outdoors or go by the sea or something, it's because we're needing to be more grounded, and our body and our energetic body is telling us that through our emotions and our feelings there. So listen when you get that stirring and that encouraging feeling to go out in nature, because it is telling you to be more present when you do experience that. Now, another technique that I share with my students in order to become grounded. Now, we all live busy lives, don't we? And not everybody has that opportunity to just drop everything and go for a walk, or go out in nature, or have a walk by the side of the river. Well, if this is the case, if you live in a busy suburban environment, then what I recommend is that you just be aware of your senses. So I'm talking about your sight, your hearing, your sense of taste, your sense of smell, your sense of touch, the sense of temperature. And with you focusing your energy and your attention upon those components within your physical body, you will start to notice that things start to become more present in your life. And what I describe the process to you is basically I'd like you to look around your surroundings, and rather than just taking it for granted and looking, I want you to look at the depth of color there. I want you to look at the detail within that environment. Is it light? Is it dark? Also listen to the sounds in that environment. Is it quiet? Can you hear traffic moving outside? And then obviously the temperature within that room. Is it hot? Is it cold? And also any smells that you're experiencing in that moment. By, like I say, placing your intention and your focus upon all of that, it will bring you into the present moment, stopping you from analyzing things in your mind. Maybe prior to doing this exercise, you've been thinking about situations in your past, trying to figure things out. You maybe been projecting thoughts into your future, things that haven't happened yet, but you're trying to work your way through and see a way of getting to a certain destination. Well, that's fine, but you're not being present. And by doing these 2 or 3 exercises I've just shared with you will allow you to be more present. And the benefits of being more present are the fact that life takes on a whole new meaning. It's almost as if I can use the analogy and relate it to today's standards, it's almost like live streaming, isn't it? Opposed to watching a video. Now, there's something about watching something live. There's a level of excitement. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. It has a beautiful energy about it, an energy exchange. Whereas a video, as good as videos are, they're very informative. They're good to watch. You can rewind, you can go forward, but you don't have that feeling. There's no greater feeling than watching a live video or a live maybe production or something like that. It has a different quality about it. So your life takes on a whole new meaning when you become present. And you become more aware of your surroundings. Like I was saying, your senses, all of your bodily senses will come online and you'll notice things a lot more easily. You'll become more observant. You'll be aware of energy and feeling in certain environments. Maybe this part of you haven't acknowledged or even realized that you have the capabilities of feeling your way through a building or indeed being around a group of people. Maybe you've never noticed that before, but being present allows you to switch that particular skill set on there. And you do have, when you are present, you have a level of resourcefulness. Now, this has come in very handy for me several times over the years. There is the fact that I like going away and having nights out in nature, camping or, walking, things of that sort. And sometimes you forget things, don't you? Think, oh, I forgot that. I really needed that so that I could make tea, so that I could make tonight's food, and I forgot it. Oh, there's no way I can go back and fetch that now because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So by being present, it allows you to see the situation for what it is. It allows you to think, well, what have I got with me? What can I utilize to compensate for that thing that I forgot? And so it allows you to be more resourceful when you are present, when you have that sense of not being attached to anything, just living in the moment. You'll have the answers right there at your fingertips. Now, also with being more present, we get the opportunity, if we're open and willing to do this, of seeing people's auras. Now, auras are the energetic body which emanate around the physical body. And usually you can see like a glow around them. You can see the physical form and then a glow, almost like the sun is shining around them, so to speak. Except this light around them differs depending upon the mood and the vibration of that individual that aura belongs to. And when we're more present, and if you're willing and open to having this experience, what you will recognize are people's auras. You'll start to see this glow around people. You'll start to see different, very gentle colorations in that glow there, indicating, like I say, how that individual is feeling at that moment in time, and the frequencies that they are emanating into the universe. And so you get this opportunity of having a sneak peek. And when I've gone through this experience, it happens very quickly. And it's one of those situations where you see it with your physical eyes, and then you rub your eyes thinking, did I just see that? Were my eyes playing tricks on me? And so you go for a second take, a second look, and you look again and you get another quick glance of that aura, that coloration around the physical body. But it happens very quickly. And again, you have to be very present and open to witnessing and observing this experience. So what benefit does that have to you by doing that? Well, it can give you inclinations how that individual that you're witnessing, like I say, is vibrating, what mood they're in, if they're approachable. if they have a certain glow about them, a bright glow, then obviously they're a beautiful soul, they're a beautiful being, which we all are, despite what we're all going through. But you'll just recognize who you vibrate with and who you don't by utilizing this. Going along that tangent there, you will experience that you will be able to feel the truth in any situation. Now, this is a fantastic spiritual or life skill that you can have in your toolbox there. As you know, there's a lot of individuals, and I'm not casting any judgment, that are in a place within their life where they have to either tell tall tales to big themselves up, to make themselves feel more important than what's actually happening. Now, this happens a lot on social media, happens a lot on videos and things of that nature. And so also in conversations, with individuals, people like to maybe embellish the truths so that they feel more important than what they are. And again, this is not a judgment, just a general observation there. So having this skill set in your spiritual toolbox is going to be very useful to you, where despite what appearances are projecting out to you, whether this is in the form of body language, whether this is in the form of what's being said to you verbally, you feel, when you're living present in the present moment, you feel an energy, a vibration where something's not feeling true. It's not resonating what they're telling you. It might look very convincing, it might sound very convincing, but there's I would describe it as a blockage in the flow. So when something is true, when it rings true, in fact, I'll use the analogy. Many years ago, there was a skill that they used to use whilst there was on the steam locomotive railways. And there was a job entitled wheel tappers. And what their job was to inspect the wheels of the steam train. And the way that they used to do that is they used to use a hammer and they used to strike the wheel. Obviously it's iron in certain places along that wheel to find out whether the resonance, whether it rings true. So if it's ding, then obviously that wheel is all right. It's got no cracks in it. It's got no imperfections in that wheel, has it? And yet if you were to strike that wheel and it was like, doo, obviously that's stopping the flow of that frequency. So that would indicate that there's a crack or there's an issue within that wheel. So I'm using that analogy just to illustrate with you the fact that you will have a similar experience when you're in the company of somebody and they're not necessarily giving you the truth, giving you the true story of the matter. You will feel the energy. It won't flow as quickly. You'll just feel a restriction. You'll feel a tightness in your solar plexus, which is your stomach muscle area there. Your intuition will kick in and you'll just feel that something's not quite right here. Although it looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, it's not feeling right. And of course, being present and being aware of yourself and that environment and the energy that's occurring within that environment will help you recognize the truth in any situation, whether you're watching a video, whether you're seeing the news, whether you're in person listening to somebody or you're having a conversation with somebody. You'll just feel that vibrational change when you're more present in your life there. So just look out for that. And also what you will find when we're present, when we live in the moment, is that you will begin to synchronize with the universal energy. Now, what I'm saying when I'm talking about this is there will be a natural state of flow where you put your trust, you put your faith in the universe, and you know, because you're present, that whatever your situation is, I'm going to be all right. It's going to be fine. How do you know it's going to be fine? Because you're living in that moment, you're feeling that vibration. And again, it's a similar vibration to what I was describing earlier. When you feel the truth of a situation, you can feel the resonance of that situation. So it rings true. There's no resistance there. Yet if you were to feel that resistance there, like maybe a tightening of the solar plexus in the stomach area of the physical body, then that would be maybe an indication that something's not quite right, and maybe you need to start and question things a little bit further. So living in the moment will give you that specific tool to put in your spiritual toolbox. Now, not everybody can take the truth in a situation because it doesn't fit a narrative that maybe you've been either brought up to believe or your idea of how things are meant to play out. But I assure you, when you're more present, you will feel that truth. Sometimes it can be unpleasant truths, obviously. Other times it can take you out of a sticky situation before it gets any worse. So either way, it's certainly one of our natural gifts that we all have the ability to do and to live by. We just need to move out of the way and just be more present to allow that to unfold. But what will happen as well when you synchronize with the universe is that you will start to recognize opportunities that are right under your nose. Now, to most people, they'll be in that mentality. And again, I'm not judging by saying this. It's just a form of conditioning and just a form of belief systems that need, maybe a little bit of work. But what I'm saying is basically you will see opportunities right before your eyes where other people won't recognize them. A lot of entrepreneurial people, business people as such. In fact, I've just recently been watching an old TV show called Minder. This is where there was an entrepreneurial gentleman called Arthur who was always seeking out new business opportunities. And he had this specific gift, and he could spot a potential way of making money out of anything. And that was because he was present. He was observing the situation, and I'm using this little analogy just to illustrate what we're talking about here. And so he had this ability to spot ways of boosting his income, or, making something out of nothing and then earning something from that. He was great at doing that. A very comical show if you've ever watched it. If you've never watched it, I certainly would advise that you go and give it a watch, because it is comical, but it will outline what we're talking about here today. So yeah, you'll see these opportunities. Other people won't see them, or if they see you observing these opportunities, they may cringe and feel uncomfortable that you're spotting them and you're doing it, and they'll be like, oh, what are you doing that for? Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And yet that is their conditioning coming up to the surface. They feel embarrassed about what other people think about them for maybe pursuing these opportunities that are presented to them by the universe. Again, just trust your intuition. Remember me saying several times now, if it rings true to you, then follow that and trust that, because that will be meant for you. Okay, so opportunities, you'll recognize them there. You'll also have a magnetic quality about you when you allow yourself to live in the moment, because you can walk into a room and people will naturally be, shall we say, magnetically drawn to your vibration. They'll notice a shift, a change in that environment when you walk into it as well. And you'll find that the right people will start and gravitate towards you, because they recognize that you have this, shall we say, magical quality about you, which makes you understand who you are as a person and the environment that you're located in. And you haven't got that sense of fear when you're carrying out your day-to-day duties, when you're walking from that room to this room. There's a certain confidence and a certain, shall we say, swagger about you when you are present. Now, there's a fine line between this confidence and also arrogance. And so many do go down the avenue of following the ego, because they get to enjoy this experience a little bit too much, taking it to its next level. And this is simply enjoying that magnetic quality that people are drawn to them, and not actually realizing what it is and why it's happening. They think it's them that's doing it. And in many respects, yes, they've made that choice in order to be present, but they're simply aligned with the universal energies in order to amplify their experience. And it's only when they believe it's them as an individual person, then that's when issues can happen, obviously, with the inflation of the ego. And then you'll notice that things start to downward spiral when you go down that level. But the reason I brought that up is just to illustrate the point that it's a very fine line, between confidence and arrogance. And so always be mindful, always trust your emotions, trust your feelings throughout any situation that you're experiencing. And how to get to that is, again, being present, making sure that you're down to earth, you're grounded, you're a well-rounded individual, enabling you to do that as well. But also, you'll recognize that certain luck will come to you. Your luck will change when you're more present. And this is because you're in alignment with the universe. And when your thoughts, your vibrations, your intentions are sent out to the universe, and you have that feeling of openness, that feeling of being grateful and being just observant, all of those qualities, when they add up together, will increase your luck and increase opportunities happening for you. You have to love and appreciate yourself as well. Now, again, I'm not talking about inflating your own ego. When I say this, I'm talking about recognizing yourself for who you are, the qualities that you have, the life choices that you've made, the hobbies, the interests, the things that you like, the things that you don't particularly like as well. And when you show that level of love and appreciation for who you are and what you're doing on your pathway, and you're living that present moment in your life as well, this will enable you to keep in that frequency band on a regular basis, so that you can live a more, shall we say, fruitful life. But also, with loving yourself, you need to set healthy boundaries around yourself. Now, what I mean about this is not letting people take your beautiful energy for granted. Having a bit of a cut-off point where, yes, I will do that, but I won't do that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Setting healthy boundaries will allow you to stay in that vibration that you've created for yourself, to live more in the present moment. Because if we were to let other people take too much of our time, of our energy, then that would take our focus away from being present, being in the moment, and living our life at the best version of ourselves, for ourselves, and indeed for the greater good of one and all. So healthy boundaries certainly play a very prominent role when you're being more aware of your present moment consciousness there as well. Now also, when we're in the present moment, this is what I always say, is that we're in the seat of our own power when we're present, because we have that power of choice, don't we? We're more aware of it. We understand it. We're looking at both sides of the coin rather than committing to something straight away. And we have that power of choice. And we become to realize cause and effect are based around what choices we make. And so when we are more observant, when we recognize what's happening around us, we can then start to make a very educated choice on what we want to do in our life. What choice? A choice could be simply, do I take the bus or do I walk? It can be anything, can't we? Because we're making thousands of choices within each and every single day of our lives. And of course, this is our free will, and we have that right to do so. But being more aware in your present moment will give you that edge. It will allow you to make more choices that are in alignment with your life's purpose and your higher self and the truth of who you are in that precise moment that you're focusing your attention on. And so what people will experience, they will receive the best of you in that situation when you're being observant and being more present. And that's a beautiful thing when you've got someone's whole attention. For example, if they're wanting you to help them out, maybe do some DIY or something like that. I mean, when somebody's not there, not present, they're not wanting to help you. They've said they would, but they're there just out of obligation and they're not wanting to actually do the work. You can tell, can't you? That enthusiasm isn't there. They start making mistakes. They start getting tired, lethargic there. And you just feel that sort of vibration in the energy there where you think, do you know what? I think I'll be better off doing this on my own. And so the beauty of doing all of this, being present, is people will pick up on it as well. And when somebody's more engaging, more keenness, that job gets done quicker. There's a sense of teamwork, a sense of pride in the work that you're doing, whatever that work can be. And so people pick up on it. And it's very infectious. Once they see somebody behaving like that, it's very high vibrational. It makes them want to be in that same vibration because they can see how happy you are in that moment there. So what I want to say is a few examples of this. I've experienced it where time can feel like it's bending when you're in the present moment. Now, I know that sounds a little bit unusual, bit of an unusual statement for me to say here, but I've experienced where I've been in Scarborough in Yorkshire in the United Kingdom, and I've been walking along the seafront there, just engaging in nature, listening to the waves, looking at the seagulls, looking at people walking by, feeling the warmth there on my skin. And with being in that, I was aware of, although I was there in the physical, I was very present. I felt this shift in my vibration, almost as if I was coming out of body. And yet I was experiencing being present, but also feeling this higher vibrational part of myself moving ahead of time. So I was experiencing an amplification of those vibrations before they was actually happening in my physical body. I know that sounds a bit crazy of me to say, but it was a beautiful situation to be in. Another thing is it allows you to feel part of the whole as well when you feel this experience. Another thing that I go through on a regular basis is that I'm a drummer in a band and I do some backing vocals there as well. And for me, there's no greater feeling than being present within that gig, not knowing, although you've got a set list or you've got songs, not knowing how the audience is going to react, not knowing how your performance is going to be, just trusting, being present, watching and feeling the vibrations from the audience, watching and feeling the vibrations coming from yourself there as well, and then just being present and experiencing the beauty and the magic of that situation can be a beautiful energy exchange. And this is all down to you living in that moment and allowing yourself to observe it with love, joy, and respect. So I hope you've learned a few things, or at least thought about some new ways of being by being present in the moment. Well, we're going to move into the next segment of today's show, which is the channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel in order for Spirit to bring their wonderful information and channeling and vibrations and healing through. Now, this is a segment of the show, you've probably heard me say it quite on numerous occasions, that I really do enjoy doing, simply because I step out of the way, I heighten my vibration, and I quite literally allow Spirit to move in and just blend their frequencies with mine. And it's something that doesn't necessarily come straight away. It does take years of practice and development to reach this level. And of course, I'm continually expanding my consciousness and awareness, so the channeling becomes a lot more easier than perhaps it did a long time ago. So it is continual expansion, and I love the fact that Spirit take this opportunity to bring forward these messages that we all need to hear at this moment in time, including myself. We're all in a constant evolutional phase where we're expanding, learning and growing, aren't we? So I really enjoy this part of the show. So if you can relax, sit back and get yourself ready for this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So enjoy.
Hello, I hope you don't mind me coming through in this manner. My name is Timothy, and I've come to talk to you about various subjects and things that may interest you. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is knowing who you are as an individual. There's many of you that are listening to this that are still confused about who you are and what the ideals and expectations are of you and from you by others around you. And I'm here to tell you that first of all, you've got to ignore the demands and the pleas of others that are around you, trying to mold and shape you into something that you are not. Instead, you would be better off by focusing upon that beautiful energy that you truly are, your truth. And by focusing upon that, then you can discover who you are, all of the facets, all of your qualities. And in order for you to do that, you have to place yourself in some sort of bubble. What we're referring to is by you not being concerned about the belief systems and opinions of other people around you. In doing so, by not judging anyone around you either, will keep you in this vibration of distinct harmony with the truth of who you are. Now, when you come to feel the truth of who you are, you will have a certain natural confidence about you, a confidence that is witnessed by others, but also predominantly witnessed by yourself. You'll have a sense of comfort and ease and grace when you go throughout your day-to-day duties. You will just have a knowing, and instinctively you will act upon that knowingness. And in doing so, you will feel very comfortable in your own skin, in your vibrational alignment with your physicality within your body. Now, this may seem absolutely obvious as the nose on your face to most of you. We understand that, and we apologize to those of you that are listening to this and thinking that. But then again, there's those of you that are too wrapped up in the energies of others to notice and care about their true vibration. And it is these elements of society that we're focusing on with this transmission, to get you up to speed so that you can shine like the true diamond that you are, and emit that beautiful ray of light into every facet and everything that you do in your life. Now, with us saying this, we're talking about once you realize who you are, everything will begin to change in your physical life, on your physical pathway, on your earth dimension. You will change the way that you see things. You will change the way that you behave. You will also have a calmness about you, a serenity about you, that you will be very comfortable in your own skin, and you'll have a knowing of what choices you need to make in order to keep yourself feeling that bliss and alignment with your truth. Now, to many this may sound like a lot of old nonsense, but to some of you that this information that does align with you, we trust that you're listening to this information, and we tell you now wholeheartedly that when you are in this vibration that we speak of, you will feel it. And that is the indication for you to know that you are in alignment with your higher self and the truth of who you are. And when you feel it, you recognize this oneness, this sense of not needing to question the narrative, not needing to question your authenticity. You just know you have a oneness. It's hard for us to put into some sort of words to communicate this so that you fully understand. All we say is that you open yourself up to experiencing what we're talking about. And by placing yourself into a very, shall we say, loving, energetic, protective bubble, where you allow yourself to have time to yourself to make this connection between you and oneness and feel that peace. Now, in order to get into this level of being that we're talking about, meditation is an exceptional way of doing that. Now, most of you will think that meditation is something you have to do all the time, and it can be very boring and demanding, and you've got things to do. We say we'd like you to perceive meditation slightly differently to what you perceived it in the past. And so we'd encourage you to start to see meditation as quietening of the mind. Quietening of the mind. Now, you can do this in any situation, no matter where you are in your life or what you're doing or whereabouts you are in the world. You can simply choose and align with the vibration of meditation. You can do this with your waking consciousness also. Many of you have to walk to work or walk various places, or you do mundane jobs and activities that don't necessarily stimulate your mind or your soul. Well, it is in these moments that we want you just to relax in your mind and allow yourself just to relax and have that space in your mind where you're not consumed by any thoughts, where you're not stimulated by any exterior source, where you're not listening to music, you're in the silence and you're just being, you're living in the present and keeping that divine space for this calmness in your mind. It will take practice, of course, but when you reach that practice and you reach that stage in your development where you can just flick the switch and have that divine calmness in your mind, not allowing yourself to be stimulated by external sources, then this is where you'll feel that alignment with the truth of who you are. And the more that you do this, the more alignment you will achieve. And you will connect with it, and it will be a greater understanding. It will happen very naturally. You won't have to ask, you won't have to force it or anything of that nature. Just simply allow, clear the space in your mind and allow, and you will notice big changes. So that would be my tip for you all. So don't perceive meditation as something where you have to lie down or sit. You can do it in, like we say, in your daily duties where you're walking, where you're doing mundane activities. Just clear the mind and set that intention not to think of anything. It will take practice, but you'll be glad of it when you've done it. So thank you for listening to this transmission from myself. It's been a pleasure to come through, and I look forward to communicating with you all very, very soon. Take care now, and God bless. There's going to be another communicator coming through for you in one moment. Oh, yeah, you don't mind me popping in, say hello. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to think about, isn't there, with all that information that Timothy brought through there. Yeah, well, with this in mind, I'd like to extend on that. Well, what we want you to know, that getting yourself into that state of calmness when all chaos is happening around you, and we don't mean to scare or intimidate you by using those terminologies, but we want you to be aware that there's an energetic shift upon your, shall we say, planet Earth that is going to cause a lot of upset to quite a few individuals. And when we use that word upset, we're referring to people are going to connect with the fear energy. Now, what we want you to do is obviously connect with the vibration of love and serenity. And a way of you doing that is practicing the art of discernment, the art of not allowing yourself to be triggered or manipulated by these external sources and vibrations of other individuals. It will take some discipline, I grant you that, but once you get into this practice this practice of protecting your vibration, your energetic being. You can do this in many ways, but the preferred method is to imagine yourself in a coloured ball of light around your physical body, and this coloured ball of light is expanding and growing to the fact where you are covered in every angle, in all directions of time, by this protection that you ask for and you set the intention to be around you. Once you've done that, you'll notice that whatever's going off around you with various individuals or whatever, propaganda, whatever term you want to use, it won't have that impact on you like it has for quite a few. Now, we're not saying that you're better or any worse than anybody else. We're just giving you some informed information for you to make informed choices in order for you to give it some care and consideration about your sensitivity and protecting your energetic vibrations. In doing so, you'll experience a much more peaceful and quieter life, but on purpose. You'll feel excited to get up in the morning. You'll feel like nothing's gonna stop you on your pathway, and in fact nothing will, only your own belief systems of that. So as well as placing yourself in protection energetically, you need to work on yourself internally, removing belief systems that have kept you small, that have kept you rigid in your approach. The more flexible and diverse you can be, the better off you're going to be on your journey on the earth plane. You're going to find yourself moving with ease and grace, and you'll recognize signs and symbols coming in from the universe, giving you that little nudge in the right direction on your life. Whereas before, when you didn't have this mindset, you wouldn't have spotted them. You'd also be rigid and structured in your way of living. And in fact, that's commendable to certain lengths, but where we're going energetically, where everybody's going on the earth plane, you will need that element of flexibility and understanding. Yes, set your intentions, but don't have a fixed way of how you're going to get there. Allow the universe to blend and mold the energy with your energy and your intentions that you are setting. That way everything will come into form just as it should in your present moment consciousness. So it's been an absolute joy and pleasure to come through and give you a little bit of information this way. I'm now going to pass you over to another communicator that just wants to inform you a little bit further. So thank you for listening. God bless now.
Well, it's me again, yeah. I hope you don't mind, but you've got lots of homework to be doing, haven't you? But you'll be grateful that you've heard this transmission today, because it's going to come in at the right place at the right time, and you need to do that work on yourself in order to thrive and not just survive. Because there's two differences, isn't there, with both of those words? Thriving and surviving. Surviving's good, but you feel restricted and it's keeping you small. Whereas thriving, you have that level of openness and success and confidence, and that's what we want for you. So we hope that all what we've said and brought forward for you today is going to put you in that mindset and that vibration of thriving. So thanks for listening. We send you all our love and healing, and we want to let you know that we're always around you, giving you that love and support. And all we ask is that you just understand we're there, quieten your mind and feel the vibrations coming in, and you will be amazed about what you will feel and what you will sense around you in any one moment. So bye for now. Love you lots. Bye.
Wow, once again, a fantastic transmission there from the world of spirit with that fantastic amount of energy they brought through. Interesting to hear them talking about getting to know who we are as an individual, as this is the key to expanding our truth, connecting with the truth, and also extending our sense of confidence as we listen and interact with vibrational alignments there as well. And it was good to know that we will feel this exchange of energy. And most of us already do anyway. Those of us that follow our spiritual practices have this experience. But having it described in these terms, I'm sure we can all agree that no matter where you are in your spiritual development, you can always make that little bit of extra room for improvement. So I certainly can take a lot from what was said there in this transmission, and also remembering to protect our energies as we become more increasingly sensitive and in alignment with the truth of who we are. And also the fact that we can meditate in order to make this process a lot easier, so that we do get to know who we are and we move out of our own way in the respect, quietening our mind. And it was nice to hear that meditation doesn't necessarily have to mean that we've got to sit there in the silence, in the quiet. We can do it anywhere that we choose to, as long as we're allowing the continual thoughts in our mind just pass. And so we have that level of quietness and just relaxation in the mind, giving that space for inspiration to come in, for any spiritual angelic downloads to come in and upgrades. And also this allows us to get to know ourselves on a deeper level than perhaps we have done in any other situation within our life there. So it doesn't, by the sounds of things, by what the communicators were saying, meditation doesn't necessarily have to be the old version of it. We can do it anywhere, just quietening that mind and putting that focus on doing that intention there. But also getting into that state of calm as well. And not allowing ourselves to be triggered by situations that may be happening externally. Just remaining calm when all chaos is happening around us. I love the way that they put that in that transmission today, and the fact that that will help us inspire others to raise their vibrations, to get to know the truth of who they are. And once they've got their power back, then they can be like yourself there, that beacon and vessel of light, in order to bring harmony onto the planet there as well. But what I always enjoy is hearing Tom, the little boy there that comes in, and saying that we've got homework to do, and it's in preparation for us in order for us to thrive and not survive. And I love his interpretation of thriving and not surviving there. It was absolutely incredible. I loved that transmission upon hearing that back for the very first time. So anyway, we're going to be moving on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you need to, and enjoy this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for Monday, the 15th of May, 2023. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I consult the wisdom of my spirit guides and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the cards and allow a card to come out at random. And right on cue, one has just done that for you. So this is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the energy and vibration of that card to bring forward the information for this week. First of all, I feel that this week also gives you the invitation for change. It's telling you to be more flexible with your week this week, rather than having a fixed viewpoint of how you feel it needs to unfold. With you being flexible, it's going to allow opportunities to come to you, to find you, rather than you going chasing and looking for them. Also, with this being the case as well, this week will also see you giving other people another chance, giving them that opportunity to explain their side of the proceedings, their side of the story, rather than jumping to conclusions. With this being the case, it will actually make you feel lighter vibrationally. It will also allow you to cut any negative cords that you've been holding on to that situation and your past there. This week will also see you paying attention to your physical well-being. I'm talking about your health. I'm talking about you being observant about the things that serve you in your now and now moment. So basically what I'm saying is, notice if there's a TV show that you like that perhaps isn't serving you the way it did, or perhaps there's food that you once liked that isn't serving you the way it once did. It's making you feel uncomfortable to be around that vibration or that energy of that thing. It could also expand into connections with people. This week will also see you actually being more sort of observant about the people that are around you. Instead of viewing them, what they're telling you, you're actually picking up on the vibration that they carry with them. So you'll be picking up the truth of the situation rather than what's being told to you. So this is your intuition kicking in. So listen to it and act accordingly when you feel inspired to do so. Also this week, be aware of healing that's going to be given to you from the angelic realm. Now this healing will actually make your hands feel warm, very hot in the center of the palms of your hands. So if you are feeling that your natural body temperature is rising and falling at random periods of time, whether you're male or female, this is because you're receiving downloads from the angelic realm and also healing information as well to help you ascend and grow. You can also take benefit this week knowing that everything that you desire is on its way. So imagine the technique of ordering something from an online store. In other words, with you this week, you will be setting your intention, putting your order in with the universe. And with doing that, you just got to have a little patience and allow those things to come into you. Again, they will find their way to you. Just hold that faith, hold that patience. And also there's something about you this week, pushing forward with projects that you've been working on for quite some time, and they just need that extra bit of a push in order to get things going. So this week requires you to have that stability, to have that diligence, and to just keep on keeping on with your beautiful energy there. Can I also say that this week will also see you feeling slightly out of balance with your energetic body? What I'm talking about here is your sensitivity will be at such a level that you'll start to feel overwhelmed in certain situations. When you do get into that frame of mind there, it is up to you, obviously, but what would be recommended is for you to remove yourself from that environment or those situations so you can have that emotional and mental peace within your now moments. So just bear that in mind when things get a little bit over the top for you. Take yourself away from the situation, review that situation from a different perspective, and then come back to it with fresh energy. So I'm going to turn the card over and go through this week's card for you. At the top of the card, it reads 10 of Autumn. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 10, as that will give you some additional support and information at this moment in time. Also, autumn is referring to the latter part of this year, referring to such as October. So there's something coming up in October for you. So hold your faith, hold your patience, and also just keep calm as you're doing this. At the bottom of this card, it reads, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children and other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honouring family traditions. Very strong message there from this card. So I'm going to look into the visual element of this card. As you can see, there's lots of green around the edge. That would indicate personal growth within you this week. Being pushed out of your comfort zone this week. Also, it's telling you to follow your heart as well. So rather than being overwhelmed with the thoughts, with the emotions in your mind there, trust your heart, because it will navigate you through this situation so you can find that peace and tranquility, and that will point you in the direction of stability, as the card reads there. So looking into the symbolism of the card, there's lots of elementals and fairies, as you can see within this card there. So I feel as though that's telling you to be gentle with yourself. There's also masculine and feminine energies within this, looking up. So it's saying to you to just keep yourself grounded, keep yourself balanced. And this is in terms of your present moment consciousness, and also the masculine and feminine energy that you do possess. So that leadership quality, that sense of driving and pushing forward, and also that need to rest, recuperate, and listen to your sensitivity there. There's also, it's a woodland setting, and there's lots of children actually coming in. So to me, that describes lots of playful energy in and around you this week. Despite everything that is going to be happening to you this week, you still need to remain optimistic, have that sense of fun and compassion, and allow these new angelic downloads to come in, making you connect with your inner child so that you can have more fun and see the beauty in every situation. There's also lots of toadstools in this vibration of this card there as well. So toadstools to me represent a resting place as well. Resting place, also the animal totem of the toad for you to research, as that will offer you some additional support and information. There's lots of fairy lights and sparkles within this, so that would indicate that things are actually going better than what you're perceiving them. However, you need to open your eyes a little bit more and have that different sense of perspective. That way, by doing that, you will start to recognize opportunities coming in for you. But it's up to you to change your frequency so that you can spot them in and around yourself. Obviously, it's in a woodland setting, so that's indicating you grounding your energy, staying present, and also just having that time out when you feel inspired to do so. This can be anywhere you feel inspired to go to. It could be outdoors in nature. It could even be in the quietest room in the house there. Wherever it is, you to just take that time and responsibility and take some energy back for you. And also just be observant of the inspiration coming into you this week, because it is going to push you forward with projects, with ideas, with even improving your life, whether that's a move, whether that's financially, whether that's home and family life. You'll be given that inspiration throughout the course of this week. So pay attention, take notes. So that's what I'm picking up for this week's energy forecast reading. I hope that resonates with you. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here and you would like a one-to-one private reading, or indeed if you'd like any other of my services, then please contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can find me on Facebook to make your booking, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. In the meantime, come and join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice on www.pulsetalkradio.com. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Have a blessed week. God bless and take care. Well, it sounds like we're in for a fascinating week this week. Lots of twists and turns by the sounds of it, and obviously we just got to go with the flow and pay attention and just be our natural selves during the course of this week. So I hope that aligned with you anyway. Thank you so much for listening once again to this week's show. There's been some wonderful information that's come through, and again, if you're not aware, all the information within every week's show is directly brought in from spirit. So the content, the topic that we're talking about is always influenced by spirit, and they bring in the subject matter and they outline the points that they want raised, and then obviously I allow that information to come through, and then we have the channeling. Obviously that is spirit led. They come through in that manner, and then of course we've got the forecast reading that is also spiritually influenced as connecting with energy. So I'd like to say a big thank you to my spirit guides and helpers, the angels, guides and helpers, for bringing all this beautiful, inspiring content forward, because without them none of this could happen. So I feel very blessed to be doing this. So if you have any show suggestions, any ideas, or indeed if you have any stories of self-help, paranormal that you're wanting to share with the audience, then please get in touch with me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be absolutely incredible to hear from you. And also, if you feel that you're comfortable with me sharing your story, it would be wonderful to put that out there so that the audience can listen. But anyway, I thank you once again for listening. I'll see you the same place, same time next Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on www.pulsetalkradio.com. In the meantime, have a blessed week. Looking forward to your company next week.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For
more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to glennboddice spiritualmedium.com.